Sexy88 here, and now I'm doing another Super Nintendo Entertainment System review. This time the game I've selected for my scrutiny is Roadrunner's Death Valley Rally, which Sunsoft released. As you can see, the presentation thus far is quite nice. What we have here is something that sort of apes what happens in the original classic Warner Brothers cartoons. They get an introduction and the fake Latin names, which I suppose is authentic to the original cartoon series upon which the game's based. As you can see, the graphics and sound are quite impressive. However, gameplay, on the other hand, is where it falls apart. And we see the first problem here. The inertia on the Roadrunner is absolutely ridiculous. And some of the hit detection's a bit off as well. And by pressing the R button, you can make him use his tongue like that. And the left button, the L button, allows you to go meep like that. A bit pointless, but it's a nice touch. And holding down the A button when you're still by birdseed allows you to eat it. And what that does is build up that meter in the top left corner, which is your turbo meter. These flags are not only bonus things at the end, but they're also a checkpoint. If I lose a life, I'll go back to there instead of the very start of the level. Oh gosh. The biggest problem is he runs so fast that not only does he skid rather a lot, but it's really hard to see what's coming. In fact, it's nigh impossible. That's another flag. It's such a shame though, because the presentation looks really good. Oh great, in fact, if anything hits me one more time, I'm a goner. The pratfalls that happen to Wile E. Coyote, if you somehow manage to fox his misgivings, authentic as well. Pressing Y allows you to use some of that turbo meter that you build up in the top left corner. Oh goodness, I've got one more hit in it. No! This guy skids too much. And why are there so many platforms? I mean, it's hard enough just running around without crashing headlong into a baddie that you had no chance of avoiding because you can't see far enough ahead of you. And there's a blooming time limit. He skids too much. And now I've got to wait for this wretched platform to come back down again. And of course that time limit is ticking away. That's parallax scrolling. I mean, obviously can't do much running in there because I'm on such a small platform. There you can see the parallax scrolling I just mentioned. Ugh! It's really hard to jump from stationary. And I'll wait for that stupid platform again. And hope I don't overshoot, which I thankfully didn't. And of course that bridge isn't there anymore, so I had no chance. I don't know if I can even be bothered to do that anymore. Oh, there's a flag up there. See, look at this. How are you meant to catch anything when you go so fast? And you have to be so precise with your jumps. You sort of have to land in the middle of where his body is, otherwise you'll just overshoot. Things like that are always worthy of a laugh. And you get a flag bonus showing how you did. Energy bonus. And seriously, at what point in the cartoons did you see Ron Brody do anything like this? I mean, these platform jumps are so fiddly and tricky. See, I'm sure I landed on that, but he fell right through it. There's some birdseed there. Yeah, see, you even have to be precise just to get the birdseed. At least this wasn't fiddly enough. At least I'll go there if I lose a life. If, when. Need any of that. I've got a full meter. Of course I ran down there because I couldn't see far enough ahead of me, so I had no idea what was coming. Seriously, how am I meant to know what's coming up? There's absolutely no chance to react. I mean, in the case of something like Sonic the Hedgehog on the Mega Drive, or Genesis if you're in the United States, many parts of the levels were deliberately designed so you could really let him go hell for leather. But if you do that in this, the chance are you're just going to go flying off a platform and possibly even to your death, like to happened earlier when I went for that, which once had a bridge but ultimately didn't anymore. I'm so glad this I only got this second hand for $4.99 or something like that, because I would have been absolutely gutted if I paid 50 odd quid for these, because I believe this was $49.99 when it first came out, and that's GBP by the way, and in 1990s money that would have been horrendous. At least you're getting arrows to anywhere you need to go, but the trouble is everything's so fast you have hardly any time to actually notice them before you go skinning about all over the place. And of course there's that wretched time limit. So you actually have to be pretty careful, otherwise you go flying, and not in a good way. You can't even scroll downwards to make sure you're not doing a blind jump. Oh, I'm back here. Thanks, pal. Oh, oh goodness. If ever I needed a heart, it's now. See, I should be able to just dash about like Roadrunner did in the cartoons, and I can't because it's just too dangerous. Oh, there. Look at this, it's ridiculous, all this jumping malarkey. Ooh. I barely even touched. Oh, for God's sake! That grenade plane barely even touched me. In fact, it may have even just missed me in reality. Go away, Wiley. No, damn it! Stop skidding, you pain! I'm actually getting quite annoyed by this. I mean, the Roadrunner cartoons are just perfect for gaming, and it's just ruined because of the blooming inertia. And that didn't even touch me. Well, that too is based on what happens at the end of cartoons in the Warner Brothers. Now, I'm really not that impressed with this game. I mean, it's not as bad as Time Cop, admittedly, but is it really that hard to do a Roadrunner game that's both fun and has decent playability? Sunsoft, you really have made a mess of this. So, verdicts time. Graphics, as you can see, even in this demo mode that's playing at the moment, very good. The characters are easily recognisable as who they're supposed to be in the cartoon. I mean, yes, you may be able to do that kind of skid attack like you just did on that scorpion, but you still have to know the scorpion's actually there before you do that. By the time you've seen it, you've probably crashed into it. But yeah, anyway, sorry, I was getting off on a bit of a tangent there. Graphics, very good. They look just like they're supposed to. The Roadrunner's easily recognisable as the Roadrunner. Wile E. Coyote's easily recognisable, and both look pretty much as good as they were going to look in the mid-1990s when the game came out. It's got some nice touches like the Wile E. Coyote's body stretching there, just like he did in the cartoons. So that's graphics out the way. Sound. Now, sound is also equally impressive. I mean, when you're going at full pelt, you get that kind of hissing style sound, which is very like what was in the cartoons when Roadrunner was running at full pelt. So that's good. And the other sound effects are pretty much standard fare and pretty much what you'd expect. So I can't really complain about that. Music's kind of bouncy and jaunty, just like you'd expect from a Roadrunner cartoon, so I can't really complain about that either. Now, gameplay. This is where the game loses a lot of brownie points that it could so easily have had. Roadrunner is far too hard to control. His jumps are really floaty, which means you quite often overshoot. Planting yourself on platforms in mid-jump is a lot harder than it seems. If you don't get it just dead in the middle, particularly on these thinner platforms, you're just going to fall right through them. And yes, you may be able to run fast just like you did in the cartoons, but because of poor game design, that really does, unless you know that a level back to front with your eyes shut, etc., then the likelihood is you're either going to fall off the bottom of the screen or crash into a baddie and lose a bit of health, which are what those red lights are in the top left corner. And also you run the risk of having to fall on the bottom and have to do a whole load of tricky platform jumping from scratch. So it just becomes an exercise in frustration. And yes, you might be able to do things like press the L and R buttons to go meep and poke its tongue out, but that doesn't. While they're nice touches, they don't really add anything to the gameplay. And And of course, I've mentioned that the hit detection's a little off. I mean, some of those planes that were carrying grenades in that last bit clearly just missed me, but the game thought they hit me, so I took damage and ultimately died. So, what am I going to give it? I think 5 out of 10. Nice graphics and sound, but the gameplay and lack of playability and controllability really let the game down. Sorry, Sunsoft, but we expected something a bit better than what we ultimately got. Well, quite a lot better than what we ultimately got. So, bit of a disappointing game, Roadrunner's Death Valley Rally by Sunsoft. So that's the end of this review. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope to catch you again on my next video. Texie88 out.